Welcome back to the Tony Montana channel. First and foremost, we want to make sure that you understand this channel is not promoting any illegal activity. We are here to promote the American People Terrier, its history, its standard, and all the facts and misinformation. We are here to address all of that and then some. But above all, we are here to entertain and enjoy ourselves. On this video audio, I am going to be breaking down a video that was produced or created by the Chico Lopez channel that he titled Why Not Black Dogs by Master T. I don't know who Master T is. I hope it's not that woman, his wife, because I understand she knows only what Chico knows or less, and her exposure to these dogs has been limited to Chico Lopez. So that's not really saying much, since Chico Lopez is the one that does all the business. Anyway, let's move on and let's break down this Why Not Black Dogs by Master T. On her video, she mentioned the R.O.M list, and she mentioned the 10 R.O.M places. And she stated that in the R.O.M list for males, only two were not red dogs. I'm going to say, excuse me, Master T, but not all the dogs are red dogs. You are forgetting that there's more than one color aside from black. Not there's buckskin, there's fawn, light fawn, dark fawn. Seriously, there's regular brown. You got buckskin with black mask. You have so many things that are not red in that. So you're basically assuming that a dog is either black or red. Newsflash, Master T lady, there are other colors aside from red, and your dogs also. You should know that your dogs are not all red dogs. Hello, and obviously, if you mentioned the females, mentioned Honey Bunch is not a red dog. And the males, for example, Yellow was not a red dog. Like I said, Chinaman wasn't a red dog. Jumbo wasn't a red dog. Jumbo was mostly white. So you started off on the wrong foot if you wanted to be taken seriously. But let's continue on. Okay, so we are going to be looking at the R.O.M list. I'm just going to keep it for the males, because it's going to be too long and it's going to get tiring for me. So let's look at Jeep. Okay, Jeep was not a red dog, I already said, but let's look deeper into Jeep. We as American People Terrier, I'm not a breeder, but if I was a breeder, I would say breeders, we have to think 3D. When this master team, Chico Lopez, a prodigy, I guess maybe Chico Lopez gave her the script. Again, this shows that their mind is only a 1-2 step mind. A 1-2 step mind. They don't go beyond that. So let's look at Jeep, for example. Look at Jeep. Jeep is off of Bo, who is off of La Pausa's Dubs, who is completely a black dog. And also, a Bo is over La Pausa's Dot. Again, a black dog. Jeep's Dam is Honey Bunch, who herself is over Bullison, which is a black dog. So without these black dogs, Jeep would not exist. So in Chico Lopez's world, Jeep would have never existed because Chico would have called those black dogs. Again, I repeat, Jeep is all for Bo. Bo is all for Dubs and Dot, both black dogs. And Honey Bunch, who is the damo Jeep, is all for Bullison, another black dog. Without those dogs, that's the first number one in the R.O.M list. Now let's look at number 2. Frisco. Frisco, again, not a red dog, but Frisco is also Chinaman, which is a black dog, and China Girl, a black dog. Obviously, Black Girl is a total Chinaman. So, again, the influence here on the first and second ranked R.O.M dogs, males, black. Now let's go to number 3, Mayday. The dog that I consider one of the most bred dogs in the history of the American Pitbull Terrier. I remember back in the 90s when the original Southern Kennels had his website. The website had pages and pages and pages and pages of his breedings of dogs female bred to Mayday. And this went on for many years. So, and obviously you can count the stud fees that he can. I consider this dog one of the most widely bred dogs in history. And you'll see a connection. He has a family connection that is why also he's in this R.O.M top list. But that will be at the end. Now, number 4, White Stab. White Stab, again, not a red dog. That dog was off Jeep. And again, that Jeep dog comes from pretty much about 75% black dogs, or close to very strong influence in the black dogs. Without the black dogs right behind Tab and Jeep, number 4 and number 1 in the R.O.M list would not exist. Number 5. Number 5 is DJ Cruz Frisco. This dog is 68.75% Chinaman. Chinaman is a black dog. Again, without a black dog right behind it to influence the blind, this dog would not exist. This dog, like many other dogs right up above it, would not have ever been bred or created by the Chico Golden vein. They would not exist. Number 7. Number 7 is a black dog. It's Iron Kid. So completely a black dog. Let's move on. Number 8. Number 8 is Jumbo. Jumbo was not a red dog. The dog was mostly white with some brown patches. So it is not a red dog. It's not a red-nosed dog. Sorry, Master T. Number 9. Number 9 is our good old Blackjack. Blackjack, as you can hear, is a black dog. So, again, not a red nose. But the Blackjack is number 9 and is tied with 2 other dogs. Blackjack is tied for number 9 with STP Buck and Tan's Yellow. Yellow was not a red dog. Number 10, Long's Widow. Long's Widow again is off a Jeep, who is highly, extensively dominated, controlled by the black dogs in his pedigree. To Oris Dolly, again another lion-bred Jeep dog, and again influenced by the black dogs in that pedigree. Without those black dogs right there in the third generation, heavily in the third generation, inbred in there, Long's Widow would not exist. Number 11, it's Adams and Crutchfield's Art. Now, Art, we know that Art is off at Eli Jr., a black dog, to Clayton's Java. The dam of Java, we know for a fact, was a black bitch. I don't know what Java was, but I certainly know what Java's dam was, black. So Eli Jr., sire of Art, was black, and at least 50% of Java is black as well. Without those black dogs, Art would not exist. In Chico Lopez world, these dogs would not have existed, would not have been created. Now let's take a look at who is next to all right, number 11. We have Kennel 44 Diablo, who is also a black dog with white marks. And then the next one is for 11. All three of them are tied. It's next man's Pedro. Pedro again was a black dog. And then if you keep looking down, number 12 is a black dog. So there are plenty of black dogs here. But now we are going to look at some of the dogs that are not black and do not have black dogs influencing their DNA, their performance. Dogs that don't have black dogs right in the first generations. So we are going to look at and some of these ranks are tied with other dogs. But since I already mentioned them, you'll hear some dogs that are our ranks that I already mentioned. If I mention it, it's because they were tied with these other dogs. These dogs are, again, dogs that have a common denominator, a common factor, that do not have black dogs right behind them. And I'm going to point out the influencer here. We are going to be looking at rank number 3, Mayday, rank number 4, Yakuza's Mr. Indian. We are going to be looking at rank number 6, Batty Jr., and we are going to be looking at rank number 9, Pants Yellow. Here, the common denominator here is number 9, Pants Yellow. Pants Yellow was the sire for rank number 3, Mayday. Quiet! Number 3, Mayday. And as I said, Mayday is probably one of the dogs that was most bred in the history of the American Pitbull Terrier. Now, number 4. Number 4 was Yakuza's Mr. Indian. What's the relationship with Yakuza Mr. Indian and Yellow? Well, Yakuza Mr. Indian was line bred on Yellow and was 37.5% Yellow. Now, let's look at number 6 in the R.O.M. list that do not have a connection with black dogs right behind in the first, second generations. Number 6 was Batty Jr. Now, Batty Jr. was a grandson of Yakuza's Mr. Indian, which is number 4, and which is line bred of Yellow again. So, obviously, number 9 is Yellow himself. So, in there is a family factor there that obviously, yes, there is a strong influence, but it doesn't mean that black dogs don't matter or that black dogs do not have a strong or needed influence in the dogs that made the R.O.M. list. So what have we learned or gone through today? In this video, we have addressed the statement that in the R.O.M. list, the top 10, only 2 were not red dogs. I already explained to you that there are definitely not all red dogs. And I explained to you that, or I reminded to some of you that not just black and red in the American Pitbull Terrier. I explained to you that some of those dogs are either brown, buckskin, or either with black mask or red nose, or it could be light chocolate. It could be fawn, dark fawn, light fawn. But again, doesn't mean that if it's not black, it's a red dog. It's certainly not red dogs. So we have learned that is not true. And for a person that calls themselves a master of the breed, they should know better. That is basics 101. I also want to point out that this Master T Chico Lopez video confused things, apples and oranges, because afterwards he started talking about, we don't breed for looks, heads or big heads and this and that, but we breed for performance. But The ROM is not a performance-based merit. So what are you talking about? You're confusing your audience, intentionally or not, but you're confusing them because the R.O.M. regards to breeding, what you produce, not in terms of a performance. Because if we look at the R.O.M. list, there's some of those dogs in the top 10 that aren't the best or weren't the best performers or performer. So what are you talking about? You're confusing your audience. You're confusing the naive people by making yourself sound, smarter than you are. That you guys in your videos, you hear your own customers saying, "Oh, look at her! Look at the paws, big paws! Oh, look at the head, big head!" Or you say that, or what? Rather, Chico Lopez says that. Or the videos say that, and I laugh because again, you're dealing with like the basics. You're dealing with the public that doesn't know the American Pitbull Terrier. So you're saying, "Yeah, this is a true one. This is a true one." Poor people. I feel bad for them. Also, I want to point out what they continuously mention about themselves: consistency. They use this word over and over, but consistency means over time, evolution, one building over the other. That is consistency. It is not going back to the well, going back to 1990s firm or 1990s dogs because your dogs in 2020 aren't making the cut. That is not consistency. That is what I call your program, Chico Lopez, the 1-2 program. 1-2 because once you hit the second generation, then these dogs more than likely don't perform. They become dogs of velvet and more velvet. So people that are listening to this video, I try to break it down. I try to make it clear for the people that aren't into pedigrees, people that don't know these dogs personally. I obviously don't know them personally, but I am an intelligent person. Before I even started with the breed, I studied the breed for at least 8 years before I started uh, dealing with the breed hands on. And I would say I have more than 15 years hands on with this breed. And in different degrees, obviously. I have had dogs that are very high tempered, others that are not, and so on and so forth. But the teachers have always been my dogs, and I've had many teachers. Lastly, I want to thank you for listening, and I hope you guys come back. I try to change it up. I'm looking for different ways of expressing, giving my input on things. Uh, at the same time, I'm looking for feedback on things that you think I should change. You can always email me. I'll be glad to listen to you. And again, this is all for fun while we are in a quarantine life. And at the same, also, I want to make sure that anyone that's new to the dog isn't tricked by the hustlers out there, including the Chico Lopez guy and wife, that really aren't for the breed, they're just for the pocket. And they talk a big talk, they merit themselves. Look at that, even the wife now has merit. uh, um, in a little while, she'll be dog of the year, dog woman of the year. I assure you, she'll be dog woman of the year, and she'll probably have her own R.O.M. dog that she bred herself. I trust that this will happen because they're living that fantasy life where they can merit themselves, they can create champions out of the blue, and become dog person of the year by I guess paying somebody up. But anyway, I appreciate your time and I hope you enjoy this video. Until next time, this is Tony Montana. I appreciate you and say hello to my little friend.